brought my detector, going over things. It's pretty quiet. I did find this, which I'm not sure is a... Hey, it's Dirt, Sand, and Rocks, and this week, something a little bit different. It is dirt because I do have my metal detector, but I was hired, I'm a carpenter, so that explains the pencil and the tape measure down there, to make panels for underneath this porch here. Now this is a super old house that I'm working on. So I asked the homeowner if it would be cool for me to, excavate under there and check it out with my metal detector before I made the panels, and they were fine with that. And I did make some finds, so here's what I found. Okay, so I'm clearing out under this old porch. Might make some finds, and here is a find to even start with. That's a oyster shell, but here's a find. A little cut glass bowl. That's just right behind the very first panel I took off. I was taking off those lattice panels. How about that? Here's the progress so far, and then still a lot to clear out. A lot of debris, but did come across this, which I think is probably from an old refrigerator, I bet. But who knows? It's got a sunburst on it. So 2 glass finds so far. Who knows what else could be in here? Okay, so I have this part almost cleared off. There's still a lot to clear off back there. Some things to encounter, but I did find this piece of glazedware. I think that's old stuff. That, like, yellow and red. And then in this bay I found this little, it's like a little children's beach shovel, but it's steel. So there was probably a child under here at one time, hiding toys, hiding their Tootsie Toy collection. Okay, now it's really starting to shape up under here, and here's one of the finds I just made. Right here. It is a old wood-handled screwdriver. That's probably old. You don't see too many of them these days, and the wood still looks good. So I'm just scraping down some spots. Lots of glass, pottery shards. Yeah. Put this up here with my finds. But there's all the pottery shards so far. So I've been using that little hand rake to just rake things a little flatter. There's a really big stone right there that I can't move. It looks like it comes out the side of the house. But as I was raking the stuff down, I came across this, which is a old table knife. Tin or steel or got a metal handle too. Okay, almost everything is cleared out and leveled all the way up. I brought my detector, going over things. It's pretty quiet. I did find this, which I'm not sure is whether it's a non-precious ring or whether it's a like a cutoff from a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch pipe. You know what? I'm gonna say it's a non-precious ring. But under here, in that hole right there, I just came up with this. And it's a flat button. Oops. So I managed to find a flat button under this porch. This is probably from the 1800s. Although it could also be from the 1700s. All right, got the panels in on this side and had to do some digging, as you can see, like there. And when I was digging, I came across this. Where I had to dig the most was up at this front one. I had to go really deep there, and that's where this popped up. So I was probably 20 inches down, maybe, when this came up. So it has a brass escutcheon, and then it's a steel or iron. I don't know what that is, though. It's attached to the wall like that, like that. Doesn't look familiar to me. But then afterwards I was raking this and I just noticed in my pile that I have a button. It's a little porcelain button. And it still has the shank on it. So that's a cool find. Here are the finds from underneath the old house's porch. So we have the square cut glass piece. It's got some rough edges here. We have the tableware knife, butter knife. Found a little like garter clip or something like that. Here's that non-precious ring. I do think it's a non-precious ring. This is that last piece, and I noticed that right there it says patent on it. I think it might be upside down now. Yeah, it says patent on it, and then you can't tell what it says there where it has the rust. But it looks like an S or a 5 there. All steel. I thought that was brass. It's steel. Cast iron, this thing. Here's the screwdriver. I cleaned it up a little bit. I put on a wire wheel just to try to make it look a little bit better, and it worked out. Here's the little shovel from the beach or sandbox. And at the top are the coolest finds. The cut glass vase is really in good shape. Hard to believe that that survived under there. The little porcelain button with the tin loop on the back of it, and then the flat button, which is, I think this is old. I think this is from the 1800s for sure. Yeah, I think it says Lewis and Son, the back mark, and then I think it says gilt on the bottom, but I'm not sure exactly. Very difficult to read that. And then there was one other find that wasn't that spectacular, but still an interesting find. It's this little, it was a crumpled up piece of paper that I flattened out and, you know, taped all back together where it was torn. And it's the comics from an old newspaper. And I've been in this area for a long time, and I don't remember any of these cartoons. First of all, I never remember Mickey Mouse being in the cartoon sections of the newspaper. There's also a cartoon called Harold Teen and a cartoon called Somebody's Stenog. And I don't remember any of them. And I go back a little bit, but I have the feeling that this is from the Evening Bulletin, which went out of business when I was still pretty young. Can't get a date off of it. The back is just like a story about a guy who was murdered. It's not even news. It's more of like just a story. But those are all the finds. Cool finds. I was really expecting to find more, but you get what you get.